Y'all want to know why the internet became convinced Big Jook's killer had finally been found? It all exploded after a wild police chase in Memphis, nearly 2 years after Big Jook was gunned down outside a restaurant in January 2024. In mid-January 2026, videos suddenly started spreading across social media showing police swarming a neighborhood on the Westwood side of Memphis. Right in the middle of all the chaos was Memphis rapper BEO Lil Kenny, whose real name is Kenneth Mason. According to the first posts that started circulating online, Kenny had allegedly taken police on a high-speed chase through the city before jumping out of the vehicle and trying to hide on foot. Officers eventually found him hiding inside a row of bushes and dragged him out while cameras recorded everything. Within hours, screenshots and clips of the arrest flooded Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Memphis blogs. Everywhere people looked, they kept seeing the same headlines connecting BEO Lil Kenny to Big Jook. Some posts claimed he had secretly been identified months earlier and had finally been caught after disappearing. Others pushed the theory that Gotti and people connected to CMG had quietly figured out who was responsible for Big Jook's murder and finally cornered him. Overnight, a rapper who mostly stayed inside Memphis underground rap circles suddenly became one of the biggest conversations in hip-hop online. To understand why the moment hit so hard in Memphis, you have to understand what Big Jook represented in that city. When Memphis rapper Big Boogie later talked about hearing the news of Big Jook's death, the emotion behind it showed how heavy the situation really was for people connected to the city. Big Jook carried real weight throughout Memphis, so when BEO Lil Kenny was pulled out of those bushes almost 2 years later, the entire city locked in immediately. People also started paying attention because Kenny's music already lived inside Memphis street culture. His songs referenced violence, neighborhood conflicts, street politics, and local tensions. As soon as people started going through his lyrics, certain bars stood out to listeners who believed they sounded connected to Big Jook's killing. Social media quickly labeled the lyrics as self-snitching, while comment sections filled with people claiming only someone involved would know certain details being mentioned. Memphis bloggers and YouTube personalities started saying the streets had already been piecing things together long before any arrest footage surfaced online. That became the entire engine behind the rumor mill surrounding BEO Lil Kenny. Memphis social media users started connecting loose details, building theories, and treating assumptions like facts. Then there was the police chase itself. The image of Kenny being pulled out of bushes while hiding from officers became symbolic online. Some Memphis YouTube channels framed the bushes almost like a guilty conscience, while commentary pages joked that he had been comfortable in the bushes for 2 years until the pressure finally caught up with him. Other pages described it as the day Big Jook's killer finally got dragged out of hiding. Some even pushed the idea that Gotti himself had finally found the person responsible. What made the rumors even louder was the fact that Gotti stayed almost completely silent through the entire situation. Since Big Jook's death in 2024, Gotti rarely spoke publicly about losing his brother. Most of what came from his side appeared through cryptic lyrics, vague Instagram posts, or comments passed through people connected to his circle. So when BEO Lil Kenny's arrest exploded online and Gotti still said nothing publicly, many people in Memphis interpreted that silence as confirmation instead of grief. According to the viral rumors, Kenny was briefly held at Shelby County Jail before being released just days later. Early online posts claimed he had been arrested in connection with Big Jook's murder, while others said police were still quietly building the case against him. The police chase footage, mugshots, and court appearances kept getting reposted online with increasingly dramatic captions, and every repost strengthened the belief that Kenny was somehow tied to everything. Then came the moment that pushed the story even further. Shortly after being released, BEO Lil Kenny addressed the rumors himself. In clips that spread across Memphis social media pages, he denied having anything to do with Big Jook's murder. He explained how the internet had blown the situation completely out of control and claimed investigators questioned him for extra hours because online speculation kept attaching his name to the case. He also talked about how social media blurs the line between rumors and reality. One specific clip where he described the internet as a dangerous drug quickly went viral on its own because people treated the statement like a hidden message instead of a denial. For supporters of the theory, his comments sounded suspicious. For others, it was simply a man responding to rumors that had completely taken over the internet. Either way, the conversation surrounding Big Jook's death suddenly reached another level. The timing of Kenny's arrest also added fuel to the speculation because it happened almost exactly 2 years after Big Jook's killing outside the Memphis restaurant in January 2024. For people who already believed Big Jook's death was retaliation connected to young Dolph's murder, the timing felt almost scripted. To understand why the theory spread so easily, though, you have to go back to the afternoon Big Jook was killed. On January 13, 2024, around 4:15 p.m., shots rang out outside Perignon's restaurant and event center on Winchester Road in Hickory Hill. An off-duty officer nearby reportedly heard the gunfire and ran toward the scene. By the time police arrived, 2 men had been shot. Big Jook was found inside a vehicle after being hit multiple times and later died at St. Francis Hospital. Another victim survived the shooting. The killing immediately shook Memphis because Big Jook was not attending a club event or party that day. He had actually been attending a repast gathering for a deceased family member, making the attack feel even darker to people throughout the city. Witnesses claimed the shooters escaped in a white Ford Explorer with dark-tinted windows and no license plates. From the beginning, investigators believed Big Jook was the intended target. That mattered because Big Jook was deeply connected to CMG, the label built by his younger brother Yo Gotti. Even though his official title was an executive role, many people throughout Memphis believed his influence extended much further. Later reports describing his injuries made the attack appear even more calculated. Multiple gunshot wounds, including injuries to the head and neck, reinforced the idea that the shooting was carefully planned. One of the most chilling parts of the story was Big Jook's final Instagram post, which appeared just 1 day before the shooting. In the post, he warned people to stay alert because they don't want to face you, they want to snake you. After his death, many people viewed the message as haunting foreshadowing. Memphis figure Hernandez Govan later publicly criticized the security surrounding Big Jook that day, saying he believed Big Jook should have moved differently and surrounded himself with better protection. According to Govan, even though security was present, the people around Big Jook failed him once the shooting started. That criticism quickly became one of the most talked about reactions inside Memphis. Big Jook's funeral later carried heavy police presence while Yo Gotti stayed mostly quiet publicly, posting only cryptic tributes online. Months passed, then more than a year passed, and police still had not named any suspects. By August 2025, Memphis police continued publicly stating the case remained open with no arrests connected to the shooting. For a city deeply connected to its rap scene, the silence surrounding the case became unbearable. Eventually, the conversation returned to the same question: who would have wanted Big Jook dead? Memphis already believed it knew the answer because of everything connected to young Dolph's murder and the allegations surrounding a rumored $100,000 hit. To understand why those theories never disappeared, you have to go back to November 17, 2021, the day young Dolph was killed outside Makeda's homemade butter cookies in Memphis. That afternoon, Dolph reportedly stopped at the bakery when 2 shooters jumped out of a white Mercedes and fired multiple rounds at him using a handgun and semi-automatic rifle. He died at the scene, and the first videos leaking online captured the panic and shock spreading across Memphis. What turned a tragedy into one of hip-hop's biggest criminal cases was the trial that followed in late 2024. During court testimony, alleged shooter Cornelius Smith claimed Big Jook himself had organized a $100,000 hit connected to Dolph's murder after years of beef between CMG and Paper Route Empire. According to testimony, the money was allegedly supposed to be split between the shooters and a middleman tied to the case. Smith claimed the original plan involved catching Dolph during a turkey drive event, but the opportunity changed once they spotted his vehicle outside the bakery. He also testified that after the killing, they allegedly contacted Big Jook using coded language to confirm the hit had been carried out. One of the most shocking parts of the testimony involved Smith claiming he committed the murder while trying to earn money for his daughter's birthday. Hernandez Govan later reacted publicly to those claims, saying it showed the kind of mentality involved in the case. Rumors also spread that Big Jook allegedly failed to fully pay the money that had supposedly been promised after the killing, which became another major talking point online. The legal fallout completely changed Memphis rap culture. Justin Johnson later received a life sentence, while Hernandez Govan beat his case. Throughout every hearing, though, Big Jook's name continued appearing inside the courtroom despite the fact he had never officially been charged himself before his death. The streets eventually built their own conclusion. Many people believed retaliation finally caught up with him. The rivalry between Yo Gotti and young Dolph had already stretched back years before Dolph's death. The tension reportedly started around 2014 when Dolph publicly rejected a CMG deal and continued building paper route empire independently. Over time, the feud escalated through diss tracks, public insults, shootings, and real-world violence. Dolph survived multiple shooting incidents before eventually being killed in Memphis. So when testimony later connected Big Jook to the alleged murder-for-hire plot, many people instantly believed his own killing in 2024 was retaliation. The similarities between both shootings only strengthened the theory. Public location, targeted attack, multiple shooters, fast getaway, and complete silence afterward. That became the environment surrounding BEO Lil Kenny's arrest in January 2026. Memphis social media was already obsessed with the Dolph case and desperate for answers in Big Jook's murder. NT story. Police did arrest BEO Lil Kenny after the chase. That part is real. So when Kenny got dragged out of bushes after a police chase, people immediately viewed everything through that lens. His rap lyrics, social media posts, freestyles, and online behavior all became evidence in the eyes of the internet. But when you separate rumors from official records, the facts tell a very different story. Police did arrest BEO Lil Kenny after the chase. That part is real. But according to official reports, the charges involved evading arrest, reckless driving, illegal window tint, and possible drug possession. There were no murder charges filed against him, no homicide indictment, and no public connection to Big Jook's murder listed in the case documents. Kenny was released within days, something that would be highly unlikely if police truly believed he was responsible for a major unsolved homicide. After his release, Kenny directly denied any involvement in Big Jook's death and repeated that internet rumors had turned speculation into perceived facts. As of the latest reporting, Memphis police still publicly state that Big Jook's murder remains open with no named suspects. No major Memphis news outlet has reported BEO Lil Kenny being charged in connection with the case. The viral story surrounding him became a mixture of real arrest footage, real Memphis rap history, unresolved grief, and non-stop online speculation. Right now, the truth remains simple. Big Jook's killer has not been publicly identified. Yo Gotti has not publicly named anyone responsible. And BEO Lil Kenny's arrest remains connected to a police